What's up everyone, in this video we're going to explore the Avast Juice Shop room on TryHackMe. In this room we get to learn how to explore a web application with different vulnerabilities. So to interact with this machine, I'm going to use my host. I have installed Kali Linux, and it will connect with the virtual machine using a VPN, more precisely OpenVPN. So I'm just going to start the machine, and to get the VPN configuration file, you can go over access machines and OpenVPN, and we're going to choose Linux and download the configuration file. And you can see the instruction here. If your system doesn't have OpenVPN, but it is already enabled on Kali Linux, so then what you have to do is to run OpenVPN with root privilege and the path to file. So I have already downloaded this file. So it's lazy OpenVPN. So to run to bring the VPN up, so this is the command that we have to type. Okay, once the VPN is up, you should be able to reach the machine. If we try to ping this IP, space here, and it's reachable. So it is recommended that when you start the machine, to wait for around 3 to 5 minutes so that the services are running on the machine. As for this room, I won't read all the details. Instead, I'm just going to focus on the tasks, on the questions, and kind of show you how to find the solutions, how to get the solution for a specific question. My recommendation is that you first should try to do the room on your own, and if you get stuck on a task or a question, then it's okay for you to read the solution. But the idea is to think by yourself how to find it, but only then, if you're really stuck on the question, then you should look for a solution, because at the end of the day you're trying to learn how to do things. That's the same strategy that I use. So let's just go right into it, and we have to capture the flags or some tags that we'll find during the exploration of those vulnerabilities. So let's get right from the first question, and we have to deploy the VM, and once the machine is enabled, so we can copy and launch it. So the application is ready. Okay, so this is completed, so we're going to move on to next one. So I'm just going right into the questions. What's the administrator email? And for this room, they give a lot of instructions on how to do, so this is very easy to get started. So we have to get the administrator email address, and if we look this hint, it says the reviews show each user's email address, which by clicking on the Apple Juice product show us the admin email, and you should be able to see the admin email. So actually it's here, so let's see if we get the same image. So Apple Juice, let's go to our application, click on it, reviews, and we found the admin email. So another thing that I like to use is some notes, just to so that if I need that same information, it's easier to find it instead of going through this process of getting the admin email again. I'm going to paste and submit. Okay, and that's correct. So the next question, what parameter is used for searching? So by clicking on the magnifying glass to search, we can see that the search parameter will add the letter Q. So if we search A, and we should see the search parameter. So let's try to do this and click search, and we can see that this string it's being added at the URL. Okay, some of these questions might not be intuitive, at least for me, and it's kind of trial and error to see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, so that you can come up with the solution. So in this case, sometimes the answer is right in front of us, and this is one of these cases. So this is the letter Q. That's the parameter is used for searching. The third one, what does Jim reference in his review? And Jim did a review on Greensmooth product. We can see that he mentions a replicator. So you can see here, by googling replicator, it gives us some information about it. And another way that I use to find the solution for this, in case I don't have any clue at all, TryHack will make this process a bit easier. If you look at the wildcards or the asterisks, it's kind of give you an idea of what the solution might be. And so in this case, I already know that it's Star Trek. But if you look at the letters, you see that it's the same number of letters required to fill this solution. So we're going to submit, and that's correct. So moving on to task 3, you have to log into the administrator account, and we'll be using Barb Suite to intercept the request. So let me launch Barb. And Barb, it acts as a proxy between your browser and the web application, and it allows to do a lot of things that we're going to see on this room as well. But TryHacking, they have a good room where you kind of learn the basics for Barb Suite. So what we want to make sure is that the proxy intercept mode is enabled, and you have to set up your browser to send the request to Barb. And I'm using Fox Proxy, and I'm just going to redirect all the requests to Barb. So actually, before, we have to go to login page and fill the information and submit, and then it's going to be captured by Barb. So let's go to account, login, and it can be anything, just email.com and password something else. Okay, and we have to capture this request, and we have to change the email field with this code, so that the remaining fields will be ignored. So we have here the explanation for that. I'm just going to replace these on the application. So we're going to enable this to be forwarded to Barb, and the request was captured. And what we want is this request, and we have to replace all of these with, do this, and we want or e1 equals 1, and ignore the rest. And we're going to forward this, and we get the flag. So Going to copy this, and I'm going to disable actually barb first. Okay, I'm going to copy this to my clipboard and paste this into my solution. So I'm not going to read why it works or this explanation. So just going to move to next question. And now we want to log in to Blender account, this one, and we're going to kind of use a similar code that we use on question 1. So we get Blender Juice email, and I'm going to copy these to my notes and back to application. We're going to log out from the admin account and back to login and type Blender Juice email. We're going to enable barb, the Fox to send this to barb, and we're going to forward. And we want to capture the same message, and we have to inject our code here. So that should work. And let's forward this, and we got the flag as well. So just going to forward this. Okay, we're going to disable that so that we can copy the flag and paste as the solution. Okay, so that's great. Now moving on to task 4. For task 4, we want to brute force the admin account, so we are able to log in into admin account without knowing the password. So right now we want to guess the password, and we're going to use barb for this. So we have to intercept the request again, and we'll be using another module of barb, that's intruder. Okay, and we're going to use this is going to use a dictionary attack. So we're trying to guess the password of admin using a dictionary, and the recommended what they instruct us to use is from SecLists. And once we install this, I have already done it, then we can reference barb to use this file so that we can crack the password, guess the password. So let's do this. We're going to log out from this account, and we try to log in again. I'm going to close this, and I need admin email, IP A, and we're going to send this to barb. We're going to forward, and once we see this request, we're going to send to intruder, and we go to intruder tab on positions. We're going to clear this. We're going to select password, and that's the field that we're going to change, where we're going to add. We'll try to fill with the passwords on the dictionary. Now we're going to load this, and that should be under user share. Let's see, word lists. Word lists, and that should be SecList. That should be, let me see if I get the right path. User share, word list, SecList, and it's not using the same path, so just locate SecList. Oh. User share SecList. Okay, so this was installed in a different path. So we're going to load user share SecList, and it's here. Okay, and that should be passwords, common credentials, and best 1050. Okay, and so that's it, and we're going to start the attack. Now This is going to be it's going to take some time until it cracks the password. I'm just going to pause the video, and once it finds the password, we're going to continue from that point. To know which password is the right one, we should look at status code column and see if the return code is 200. So we can take this password and try to log into administrator account. So I'm just going to close this, I'm going to discard and back to proxy. Just going to disable this and back to our application. We have we found the flag for these ones. So actually, let's see if it's the correct one. Oh, I have bark enabled. So let me disable this and submit. Okay, and that's the correct answer. And I'm going to type the password here. So next time that I need this info, it's already here. Now, next, that's question 2, reset Jim's password. And to reset the password, we have to provide the Jim security question, and it gives a hint that it is your eldest sibling's middle name, and by referencing Jim to Star Trek, we are able to get this info about Jim's siblings, and one of his brothers has the name George Samuel Kirk. And you can read the explanation. So the password or the phrase that we have to use to change the password will be Samuel. So let's use this, and if we got password, and that should be Jim, and Jim, what is Jim email? So it's not here. Okay, but it should be just like everyone, should be Jim. Okay, and I'm going to try to use this, and we got passwords, type the email, security questions. Yes, that's the current, your eldest sibling's name. So type Samuel, and the new password. So we just have to meet all these requirements. So just say hack 123 and special character. Right, and okay. Let's change the password, and done. Are we able to get the flag? I'm going to copy and paste into solution field, and going to submit, and that's great. So moving on to task 5, and it's about confidential sensitive information. So we want to access the confidential document, and we should navigate to About Us page and hover the checkout terms of use, and you'll see this link, checkout boarding terms of use, if you're interested in such lame stuff, and should direct us to this directory that shouldn't be exposed to the public. So navigating to FTP reviews this directory, and we have to download the acquisitions file and save it. Okay, so, and after downloading this file, we should receive the flag. Okay, so let's go to About Us, and just say okay, and we go to open. Okay, I believe that's it. That should be enough to get the flag. No, that's not enough. We have to download. So about us. So if we go to this directory and download acquisitions, save link as. I'm just going to place in download folder. Yes, and we get the flag. So I'm going to copy these and paste. That's great. We are able to solve. Now, moving on to task 2, log into MC Safe Search account. We can watch the video. I have done this already, and this is quite, they give us the answer. So we know the password to MC Safe Search is Mr. Noodles. I'm just going to copy this info here and okay, now try to log in to this account. So I already have the password and MC Safe, and we get the flag. We are able to get MC Safe account. So actually, yes, I got it. Submit. Okay. So moving on, we have to download the backup file. What happens is that when we do it, it's going to show this error message. So let's go to FTP directory, and if we try to download JSON backup, so that's the error message. And to download, we're going to use the Poison Albite. So we have the explanation here, so I'm just not going to go through it. We have just to add this nullbyte to our URL, and we're going to add .md at the end to bypass this error. So I'm going to do this .md and download the file. I'm just going to save it, and that should give us the flag as well. And error handling, I believe that's this one, backup. I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, that's great. Now moving on to task 6. Now in question 1, we should access the administration page. Okay, so we have to open the debugger on Firefox. We should navigate to this URL. So let me close this one, and if we open, I'm using the keyboard shortcut, and that's F12. We go to debugger. Just going to main. That's the URL. And we have to make this readable. So it's going to make it easier to read, and we have to search for admin, and we actually need to get to path administration. So I'm just going to search for this. Oops. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Okay, once we find the path to administration, we won't be able to access this page if we are not logged in. And as this is an administrator page, we can see it by logging into as admin. So let's do this right now. So we're going to log out and log in as admin. Let me close this, and actually admin and the password admin123. going to log in, just going to close this, and we want to get to administration, and we get the flag. We're going to copy, and doesn't want to copy, delete copy. So let me paste this, and it's done. Now question 2, it's about viewing another user's shopping basket, and we're going to use Barb to solve this one. And when we make the request, let's see, you look at our basket and see that it's has these items, and what we want is to be able to look the baskets for another user, and we're going to change these requests using Barb. So let me move to another page, and then we're going to, okay, so let's go back. Okay, and going to enable the proxy, and we're going to make the request. We're going to capture, going to forward, and what we want to do is to replace this request with a different ID. So we're making the get request to ID number 2 instead of number 1. We're going to forward this, and we can see that we're getting the basket from another user, and that's the flag. I'm just going to disable this and disable Barb and copy report and paste, and that's solution. Now question 3, we have to remove all 5-star reviews. So we should go back to administration page and remove the review with 5 stars. It's quite simple to do that, so just going to change the path here, administration, going to close this, and just going to delete this one, and we get the flag. We're going to paste these, we're done. Moving on to task 7. Here we're going to use cross-site scripting attack, and the first one we're going to perform DOM cross-site scripting on the search bar. We're just going to copy the codes and paste into the search bar. That should give us the flag. So it means that the search bar is vulnerable to cross-site scripting attacks, and that should be the solution. And again, we have the explanation here why it works. And TryHackMe also has a room dedicated for cross-site scripting attacks. Now, to perform a persistent cross-site scripting, should go to this page, to privacy and security, and last login, and that should show us the current IP assigned by the VPN. And we want to capture that and replace with this header, true client IP, and that's going to be the value for this header. And we have to intercept this request while logging out of the application. So right now I'm just going to log out the application. We're going to enable this to be sent to Barb, and we're going to click log out. And Barb was disabled, so I'm just going to do it again. So turn off login. Admin. Password. Okay, so now I'm going to enable again to send this to Barb. Let's make sure it's enabled. Yes, it is. Close this, and we're going to log out. Okay, and we're going to add a header, and that's going to be your client IP and its value. Add. And now we're going to forward this request, and we should get the flag now, and we're done. So that's a persistent cross-site scripting, so that if I disable this and pass the solution, now when we go to login, let's do it again. Get admin password, and we go to account, privacy, last login. So that's the scripting that we define on the header. So now let's go to the next question. That's going to be to perform a reflected cross-site scripting, and we're going to do this on order history page, and we're going to inject a script onto this URL. So let's go to accounts, orders and payment, order history. If we look at one of the orders, let me delete this, and we can see the URL here, and we want to inject our code there and see if the application is going to run it. We're going to replace all of these with our code, and we're going to send this, and we're going to refresh the page, and our code was executed, but it looks like the flag didn't work. Let me do once more. So it is being executed, but for some reason we don't see the flag. So sometimes this happens. I'm just going to do this again, or history track, and going to replace this again. It's missing. I didn't copy all of it. Yeah, I didn't close. That's the reason. Okay, if I refresh this, okay, yeah, now it's right. Okay, and we get the flag, and we're going to submit this. Now the last one, we just have to navigate to scoreboard page. Need to copy that, and going to replace all of these, and no blank space, scoreboard, and we get the last flag, and we are about to terminate the machine as well. So as you can see, for this room, it was quite easy to complete. At least by now I can say it's easy, but it was not so intuitive the first time I tried to do this room, and at some questions I just got stuck, and I had to look at others write-ups to understand how the process worked, what were they looking for. So I recommend you do the same. Don't just go directly to the solution. Understand what is being required, so that when you're face these the same challenge or the same task on a different room, you will know what to do. Oh, another recommendation that I would give to you is to download this Just Shop application. You can Google on it on how to download and deploy on a virtual machine just to practice different vulnerabilities on web applications on a closed environment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm looking forward for the next one, and I'll see you in the next.